So the 2020 Oscars just ended, and this is basically just my initial reaction from the show as a whole. But the first thing that comes to my mind is pure excitement because it's a historic night, because it's the first non-English film to ever win Best Picture, and it was sort of a surprise. Parasite pulled up the big win of the night for Best Picture. Not only that, but Best Director for Bong Joon-ho. There's a lot of speculation that maybe it would win. But a lot of people thought that 1917 would win, including myself. But if you look inside a lot of the insiders, a lot of the insiders thought that maybe Parasite would win. They had heard a lot of people putting Parasite as their number one, and not a lot of people putting 1917 as their number one, and that really adds up here. As a whole, the show went well again without a host, I think. It started off with, I think, an amazing musical number by Janelle Monáe that had references to so many different films that actually weren't nominated for any Oscars, like Us, Midsommar. I think maybe there was like a reference to Waves too. I'm not sure, but I just thought that was really cool that by the end of the song, Janelle Monáe was dressed up as Florence Pugh's character from Midsommar, which was incredible. Both those movies, that and Us, deserve nominees. But that started the show off really well to me. At least I thought. She sung it perfectly, and it was really energetic. So that set the tone for the whole show. It's hard to keep that level of energy through the whole thing. You know, you start to get a little bored midway through, but then it brings you back with some of the bigger awards towards the end. But I think right off the bat, we got going on the right path. There were some really nice surprises early on. Of course, we all knew Brad Pitt was going to win. All of the acting categories went exactly how we thought they would. We knew Laura Dern would win, Brad Pitt would win, we knew Joaquin would win, and we knew Renee Zellweger would win. So that didn't change anything. Now, when it comes to screenwriting, there was some speculation. Parasite would win Best Original, or if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would win. But Parasite did. Parasite kind of killed. Like, it really did. Another early on thing that won that was a little bit shocking was Best Sound Editing. A lot of people thought that 1917 would clean the sound department. It did get sound mixing, but Ford versus Ferrari got sound editing, and it also just got editing. So Ford versus Ferrari walked away with 2 Oscars by the end of the night, which is more than a lot of other movies can say, like The Irishman, walking away with absolutely nothing, which is a little sad. I think maybe it could have got that Best Adapted Screenplay, but Jojo Rabbit got it. And it's hard for me to be mad. That was a really clever screenplay. Another nice surprise that may not seem like that much of a surprise, but over the last few weeks, a lot of people thought maybe Klaus would take Best Animated Feature, and I think that's a beautifully animated film. And if it would have won, it would be hard for me to be mad, but I was really happy that Toy Story 4 walked away with that award. I love that movie, and I love that franchise, so it was nice to see it win. So yeah, a lot of really nice surprises early on. I think all the musical performances were really well done. I don't really care for Frozen 2, but that performance of Into the Unknown was really, really cool. The way they had different people doing different languages of the song, different translations. I thought that was really clever, and Idina Menzel kind of killed it. And it's always nice to see Randy Newman go out there. Even though it's not one of the better Toy Story songs, he still killed it. It still sounds good to me. There's also a lot of really, really funny bits. You know, you had Steve Martin and Chris Rock come out right after Janelle Monáe's performance. Really funny, maybe a bit too long. Then, of course, you had James Corden and Rebel Wilson come out as their characters from Cats and sort of playing up that, making fun of the movie they were in whenever they were introducing Best Visual Effects, which is also sort of a shocker, because maybe like a month or two ago, you would have thought that Avengers Endgame had this in the bag, but I think there's still a slight bias against the MCU, with the exception of giving a couple awards to Black Panther last year. They just don't get awards, and yet again, not this year, 1917. It goes to show that the Academy sometimes cares more about the things that you don't know are special effects. That's why a movie like First Man won last year, a movie like Ex Machina won in 2016. And it's hard for me to be mad that 1917 won. 1917 ended up walking away with a few awards. I believe it won that, Best Visual Effects, it won Best Cinematography, it won Best Sound Mixing. I don't think it won anything else. Thought maybe it would snag that Best Production Design, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood ended up getting that, and that ended up walking away with 2 awards at the end of the night as well. But it was just really nice seeing Parasite get so much love. We all knew it was going to win Best international film. But whenever it got Best Screenplay, I was like, well, like this may be leading to something. And then Bong Joon-ho got Best Director, which I thought, if anything, Sam Mendes was definitely going to win Best Director. So I was like, well, maybe they'll split it and give that to 1917 Best Picture. But no, they just went all in on Parasite, and I kind of loved it. I'm really glad that I rewatched Parasite again today. I'd only seen it one time before, and it always stuck with me, and I thought I was in a better state of mind this time watching it, and I always thought it was amazing. But today when I watched it, it really, really blew me away, and it became, I guess it solidified that number one spot of 2019 for me. I thought it was the best movie. So this is the first time that my favorite movie of the past year actually won Best Picture since No Country for Old Men, I think. Every other year, there's other movies that I think are better than the movie that actually won Best Picture. But this year, I think they totally got it right. I think it deserved all of its accolades. I know Sam Mendes was incredible, and if he would have won, and if 1917 would have won, that would have been amazing, because I loved that movie. But you got to give props to Parasite. It was a historic night at the Oscars. I really wasn't upset at anything that happened. And last year, I was so upset at so many things. Bohemian Rhapsody walked away with the most Oscars by the end of the night. There was nothing like that this year. Everything that won was deserving. Bombshell, it deserved that Best Makeup. Little Women, it deserved Best Costume. Joker, it's up in the air, but it probably deserved Best Score. And Joaquin Phoenix, you can say what you want. Maybe Adam Driver gave a little bit of a more nuanced performance, but I think Joaquin probably deserved that award. So it's hard to be mad at any of these. I think it went over very well. The only problem is the lack of diversity in the Oscars. But I think, I'm not saying they made up for it, but them rewarding Parasite with the two major awards of the night, it definitely it lightens things up at least a little bit for something that may have had a dark shadow over top of it this year, because there was definitely a lot of actors of color and actresses of color that deserved to get in there, and they just didn't. We only had one, Cynthia Erivo. So at the end of the day, it was very nice to see Parasite get that. It definitely didn't put a damper on the night. Very, very, very happy for everybody involved. Bong Joon-ho, love seeing that guy get up there with his translator. That translator put in a lot of work this award season. Let me know what you thought of the Oscars spoil. I thought it was one of the better Oscars that I've ever seen, honestly. I really enjoyed it a whole lot. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.